Um, so if you would like to watch the entire thing all the way through, feel free to look into the description. There is an unlisted video that you can click on that will have the entire video there. Just in case you want to sit down for an hour and a half and just listen, feel free and do that. However, we're going to be splitting this up into segments over the next 5 days. So if you want to watch them in segments and you want to watch 10-minute videos, we'll be doing that. But if you want to watch the entire thing, look in the video description.
Okay. I guess we
All
can
right.
click and stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
I didn't see anything move.
What do you mean?
The microphone like sensor thing. It was just like all the way at the bottom. It didn't move at all.
Yeah, mine goes a little bit, but
Okay. All right. Ready?
let's do this.
Okay.
Are we gonna do the clap thing or no?
We shouldn't have to because we started at the same time.
That'd be the hope.
Okay. Okay. Google's 2015 hopefully budget smartphones. GameStop wants back in the game. Sammy loses to Apple. And Google's project Aura, not Aura, Amazon's budget tablets, and finally 8K screens. Reincarnations of this podcast are fun, but it's time to get back into it. We've got big dreams ahead, so hold on to your panties. It's going to be a wild ride. This is the TechnoCola Podcast, episode 12, titled Moving On Up. Every time I do one of those, I don't know if I should get super announcery and become really happy about it or just kind of rate it off, but
Yeah, we're gonna try to overdo things a little bit,
yeah.
because we found that our podcasts seem to drone on a little bit,
Yeah.
and that's not a good thing
It's
for
not.
production value, for listening, or for producing, for that matter.
Yeah.
So if it seems a little over the top, that's the point. If it doesn't seem over the top and it seems like where it should be, we're going to try to keep working on it.
Yeah. In worst case scenario, I have my oh no, it's not doing it. I have my rave lights here. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Mm. That'll
Oh
keep
no.
things interesting.
Now I can't get it to stop. Oh god.
Oops.
Okay, there we go. We're good. All right.
Midday rave.
Yeah. Noon on
Hmm.
a Saturday, You know how we do.
Going
All
up
righty. Huh?
on a Saturday.
We should get somebody to make a song about that.
Hmm. I think that'd be a pretty easy sell.
Oh yeah. You could go a cappella and I'll just kind of sit here and I'll get one of those soundboards that play sound.
Yeah.
All right. First up, Google's 2015 event. September 29th. Their catch line for it was oh no. Oh no, I may have already
Yeah.
screwed over this podcast. Yeah, their tagline is join us for some tasty treats and so much s'more.
That's awful. That it's so good but so bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, oh,
Oh no. Hey, we
we didn't
forgot
do any updates.
we didn't do any updates.
Nope.
God. Okay.
That's fine. We can just keep going and, show people that we screw up a lot and we're
Yeah,
learning and
it happens. It
we're
happens.
bad. It's fine. We understand.
All right,
Did
so I guess we'll keep the updates kind of short. Big highlights. I upgraded my audio game, my microphone audio game, so hopefully you guys see some sort of difference. I sure do, just listening to myself. I'm having a new computer being built by myself. In the next, I think in a couple days from now, I'll be able to start ordering everything. So hopefully, a week. We'll update you on that later. But hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll have my computer back up soon. There's a PC part picker link in the description if you guys want to check out what I'll be doing. And we're gonna just delete this because it's not important. And I have the OnePlus 2 held in customs right now because China decided to inspect it for drugs. So that will be here on Monday too. So the next week is going to be it's going to be a mini Christmas for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I upgraded my camera game a little bit. Now I'm shooting with the Panasonic G7, which is this. It's essentially the GH4 just on a budget. So it doesn't have a lot of the features. Well, it doesn't have some of the features that the GH4 does, but I've seen video quality comparisons between the GH4 and the GH7, and it's pretty much the same thing. Um, I'll be doing a full review and a full upgrade, like video, why I chose to upgrade to this camera over, say, a Canon or a Sony, um, and the improvements that you should be seeing in the future. And a quick question for any of those actually listening: should we be doing 4K content? Is it really that important? Or should we just be doing downscaled to 1080p? I do have a 4K capable camera. I will be shooting in 4K, like I said before. But is 4K worth it to everyone out there? Because words. Because if it's not, then I'm just gonna upload in 1080p because it saves a lot of bandwidth. It saves a lot of render times.
And file size.
And file size. Oh, the files are obnoxious. I've been shooting a little bit with this, and a 30-second clip is like half a gig.
Yeah,
or something like
obnoxious.
that. Like, it's crazy stuff. I also got this, the Audio-Technica AT8024. It's a shotgun microphone. It kind of came with the camera for free, which was nice. So I'll be doing a review on that because why not? I also upgraded my audio system to the Audio Engine D1 DAC, which has been impressive as all get out. And Windows 10 problems because Windows 10. We'll get into that another time.
Yeah, that's a podcast in and of itself.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cool.
So we're going to be going over some channel updates. Gotham, you want to start with the first one?
Yeah, so there's going to be a new tech channel because Google doesn't want to let go of my my debit card from the account, which I'm assuming it might just be because of the whole Android Pay thing happening right now. But regardless, it's becoming a hold. So we're going to be going to a new tech channel. There should be a link that is easily accessible to y'all.
Mm-hmm. I'll put it on the screen and in the description when this gets uploaded.
Yeah.
Or Gotham will, because it's still under his channel.
God, this Google thing is really annoying. I just wish I could say, hey, get rid of this card from my account.
You know, like every other payment source ever.
Yeah. But whatever.
Yeah. So
and then
it's called Zenith Tech. Gotham and I are also working on Zenith Media, which is an entirely different thing. But Zenith Tech is kind of an offshoot doing, budget-oriented tech videos for people.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
keep an eye out for that.
And yeah, so with my computer parts hopefully being shipped midweek next week. So I guess the week that you guys are watching this now. I should be able to have all my parts put together in a computer, which I actually already have the case sitting next to me and a couple other things. So everything should be built, software installed, and everything else by the 10th of October, which seems like a long way out. But I guess now I understand why when companies say, "Well, we'll be finished with this thing by this time," and everyone's sitting here thinking, "Well, why does that take that long? It should take like a week max." But now with this stupid things happening, I understand why. So long story short, October 10th is when stuff will be happening. So
stupid school and work
well, and shipping and life
and life and hopefully a life.
Yeah.
We don't need to feed the stereotype.
Yeah. All right, we've droned long enough.
Yep.
Let's actually get into the topics now.
For sure.
So yeah, Google's 2015 event. They're hopefully going to be announcing two budget smartphones, both the Nexus 5X and the Nexus 6P. Excuse me. Sounds like I have to pee. And the Marshmallow launch, Android Marshmallow launch, and new Chromecasts. And their tagline, it's oh so tasty. It's join us for some tasty new treats and so much s'more. Shout out to Android M Marshmallow.
Oh, the marketing people who came up with that.
Yeah. It goes along with their whole like new Google logo though. Like everything just seems like so much like happier and whatnot. So whatever, fine. Do
Not
you
so.
go ahead?
No, you're good.
Do you see underneath their on their you guys have the links to all these, but on their invite they have like something. So it says presentation at 9 a.m. and hands-on time to follow. Underneath that, there's some sort of image. What is that? Are those marshmallows? Is that what that is?
No, I think they blocked something out. Because if you see beneath, it says questions.
Gotcha.
Question mark, contact blank. And I think it's
I
just
see.
like an over pixelated
I see.
something.
I see.
So
I was
maybe
gonna-
maybe the people that have this image are under NDA and can't show something that's right there.
I mean, it's an
I don't know.
invite. You would expect it to just be kind of like, I don't know, whatever. But so yeah, going along with the whole budget stuff, I am hoping that the Nexus 5 and the Nexus 6 are going to be the 5X and the 6P, sorry, are going to be budget oriented, with the 5X manufactured by LG and the 6S, 6P.
6P.
Um,
6S is different.
yeah. With the 6P being manufactured by Huawei. So because the 6, the normal 6 from last year was $600. Fun fact, you can buy them for $300 now. So
Yeah. They've come down quite a bit in price, but
yeah.
there are some issues with the Nexus 6, especially the camera that still
Yeah, and I mean, who wants to hold a 6-inch tablet? Oh, did I say I meant phone? Sorry.
Yeah, really. It's like this is a Nexus 7.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. It's like a perfectly good tablet.
Yeah.
Why would they make the Nexus 6 like almost as big?
Right. Right.
Like I can one hand this, but that's just because I have giant hands. But
Yeah.
like a phone that's that big, I mean, my pockets aren't that big. I mean, even especially in some situations, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't. Expand.
Well, that is exactly what I'm talking about. But it's still like a 6-inch device fitting in your pocket along with the other thing right next to your pocket. It's a little much. The ladies might think the bulge is artificial.
So,
You wanted jokes.
I did. So this is a 5.5-inch display, the one, the 1+1, and I had the Nexus 7 too, and I went back and forth with the 7 too, because it was just like I understand where Google was coming from in a way, because it's like, all right, people don't want to carry around a tablet and a phone, but 6 inches, like a 6-inch phone is ridiculous. Like even with a 5-inch phone, there was no reason for me to use a 7-inch tablet, because it's so close in size. What's the difference? So yeah, they're I guess conforming to, or not conforming, but accepting that the 6 probably wasn't the biggest success, and launching a 5 variant. So
Yeah, I'm really hoping they move back towards that budget-oriented device like the Nexus 5 was.
Yeah.
Now, the Nexus 5 wasn't cheap by any means, but it was cheaper than most smartphones at that time. So, if they can move at least one of the two, maybe the Nexus 5S, is that what it's called? No,
5X.
5X and the 6P. I'm hoping that the 5X is kind of the budget-oriented one.
Yeah.
Because LG made the Nexus 5 and that worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Nexus 6 is going to be, the Nexus 6P is going to be, God, these names. Like
Yeah.
Apple with their 6S, 6S Plus. Like,
Well, do you think there's a reason for why it's the X and the P? Is there a reason to it?
probably
I'm sure there is, like somewhere, but
6 pixel. Maybe it has like a 1440p screen. I don't know. And then the 5X, because X is extreme.
yeah, maybe. Honestly,
Eh.
I feel like they should just name all these phones like based off of screen size and then the OS that they launched with. So like the Nexus 5M, or like
Yeah.
in 2013 the Nexus 5L for Lollipop. Like I think
Yeah.
that would be a fantastic idea because then you don't need to deal with Nexus 5 2014, 2015, 2013, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Especially since they're like actually overlapping names now. They
Right.
either need to come up with a new scheme or figure something out to differentiate themselves.
Yeah.
Because this is getting obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because just in 2015, we have had the Apple 6, the 6 Plus, the 6S, the 6S Plus, the Galaxy S6, the Galaxy S6 Plus, the Galaxy S6 Edge, the
S6
Galaxy
Edge
S,
Plus.
the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. Like, how many freaking phones can have a 6 in them?
Yeah. Yep.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, we get them all straight, but the average consumer, we get them all straight, as you can see by our great commentary.
Yeah.
Like, but the average consumer, not the YouTube channel, but like the average person can't like, how are they going to be able to tell the difference between all of them without
Yeah.
like seeing the device itself?
Right. Yeah. And Samsung's like, do you remember Samsung's like marketing thing for the S6?
Which one?
They're like tag. So if you walk into a store and you go try to buy like an S6,
Mm-hmm.
there's like a tagline for it. Do you remember what it was?
No, I don't.
It was six appeal. And I just kind of looked at that like, oh man,
Wow.
six
That's-
appeal. Yep. That's great. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I think so it was kind of weird. So last year and the year before it, the Nexus 6 and the Nexus 5, Google didn't do an event. It was just a blog post saying, "Here they are. Go buy them if you want them." So it's kind of interesting that they're doing an event again. Like I think the last time they did this was for a Nexus phone. Like the Nexus 4 didn't even get it, and that was in 2012. So it's been a few years. So
Yeah, I'm thinking that Google is going to be unveiling something that's different, something that takes some explaining.
right.
Like the Nexus 5, the Nexus 6, and the Nexus 4, they were all fairly standard devices. Not standard like average, but standard as in like people understood what they were going for. It was really straightforward. Especially if they end up having the bump on the back of one of the devices, like we've heard rumored. That's going to take some explaining to people.
Yeah.
So that might be why they're holding an event, but it is kind of strange.
Well, also we're on this like cusp of like new technology, right? So if the rumors are to be trusted, and I mean there are a bunch of pictures and accurate spec leaks that were leaked,
Yes.
that showed like the fingerprint sensor on the 5, the new USB Type C. So like Marshmallow has tons of support for like future technologies. So this might just be like, hey, like, this isn't just like a normal unveiling, because like you said, like the 4, 5, and 6 in 2012 through 2014 were like pretty standard phones. Like there wasn't anything like crazy about them. It was just here's a new phone. So
Maybe that's what the 6P is for. It's for the camera bump. The Nexus 6 Pixel.
well,
actually
the 5 has a camera bump too, right? They both have.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
haven't seen leaks about either of them.
The 5 is it's like if you guys remember, you guys probably, well, it was actually kind of cheap back in the day. The HTC One X It was like
Mm-hmm.
just like a white backed phone with a centralized camera that was bumped out. That's what it looks like, ridiculously similar to the HTC One X.
Yeah.
Um, and then the Nexus 6P looks so much like the original Droid. Like,
Really?
yeah,
That's that's strange.
like the camera bumps at the top. So like if you imagine what does it look like? Jeez. Imagine like a rectangle, and then at
Mm-hmm.
the top of the rectangle it's just like like an eighth of the width
That's
bump, if
really
that makes any
strange
sense.
because I thought things were moving to be like more square with slightly rounded edges,
Mhm.
and from what I remember, the Droid is more rounded
Yeah.
than most phones. So that's a strange move by Google if it's actually going to be like that.
I mean, I
Like in NKBHD's words, if you're going to have a camera bump, why don't you just fill out the
fill it
back
out.
with battery?
Yeah.
Because everybody wants a bigger battery. Like, you will sell so many phones if you just put in a freaking bigger battery. Nobody can get it in their minds that, one day battery life just doesn't cut it for some people. Because one
Mhm.
day for, me might not last half a day for Gotham, who's more of a mobile power user.
Well, that comes with using an iPhone though too. There's not much you can do.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Uh, But even that, like, I would much rather have a high power computer and a low power phone than vice versa.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. I mean, I really hope that they make this um, budget tech,
Hmm.
because not only would it help us, but it honestly, I think it's going to hit a larger market. Like, people would love to get like a night so obviously if they're budget oriented, they're cutting some corners somewhere, which
Hmm.
sucks, but I mean, if they're cheaper, you're going to get a bigger draw to people there anyway. So,
Yeah, yeah. This this is scarily similar to the route AMD is moving within desktop stuff.
mhm.
And I'm not gonna like go off into the AMD Nvidia like is AMD going to die thing because I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to. That's just anti-competitive and it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Nvidia to try to do that. Um, that's beside the point. How AMD is trying to move towards more pro grade, more high end processors now because they notice that the budget market is kind of stagnant. Um, like they haven't had a CPU refresh with actual new processor technology in like 5 or 6 years now, just because they haven't been putting a lot of time into it. And similar to how Google did last year with the Nexus 6, they made a super high end, super expensive device that people had a lot of gripes about. Now, AMD hasn't gotten to that point yet. They're moving there. And now Google's going back to their roots of the budget oriented technology, at least hopefully. Because if it's another $600 device, I think all of the work that they put in branding, the Nexus 4, the Nexus 5, I can't talk about the earlier ones because I don't remember them. But essentially, they're ruining all of the marketing branding of being a very, very solid budget device.
The Nexus 4 actually was the first phone that was budget oriented. Like, all the ones before it were like, um, what would you say? Like high end, like top of the market devices.
Gotcha.
Um, so it was kind of weird. Like, when the Nexus 4 came out, it was another just a blog post.
Hmm.
Um, I think The Verge was the only one that got like exclusive rights to like do an interview on Google's campus. But beside the point, I think it's going to be an interesting launch and see what they do. But
I'm sure we'll be talking about it right after it happens.
oh
So
yeah,
the week that Gotham gets his computer back, we should have a video out on this,
yeah.
at least discussing it and what's going on.
All right. Assuming that this is where we're cutting, are you
Yep.
getting a whole lot of feedback?
Nope.
What the? Okay.
Is the feedback on your side or like
I
is it
have
feedback from me?
I have no clue. Let me. Oh God.
I mean, my speakers are off, so there's no way they're
It's
pushing
not.
through.
It's
It's back.
Oh my God. All right, we're probably gonna have to cut here while I try and figure this out. This is
All right,
debilitating.
we can
Um,
stop. We'll just start at the same time, and then I'll like jam them up next to each other.
okay. All right.
Give me a second. Let the bitrate level out a little bit. Okay, we're good.
All right. All right, you can intro this one.
All right. Let me think about this. Okay. GameStop turning into the Amazon of video games.
Amazon video games. Okay.
The Amazon of video games.
Okay.
Able to trade in game discs for downloads. It's a little strange of a move for GameStop, but they definitely need something to pull themselves out of this rut they found themselves in, with the PC market growing as quickly as it has. It's
The Amazon of video games. Explain that to me.
okay. You can something that I use that Amazon does, is their trade-in feature where you can trade in items and get other items out of it. So I'm assuming that, yeah, you can trade in physical copies of games and then get a download card for something.
Okay.
I was trying to come up with something, and I'm not good at on the spot things.
So yeah, I mean, so GameStop's
It's
like big stance on this is that, oh, like consumers would rather have like a disc that they can like keep with them, because then they know that they can sell the disc later on, and if they don't want the game anymore, they can make a profit from it, which kind of plays into the hands of GameStop, because who are you going to sell your game discs to? GameStop. So as bad of a deal as that is, selling it to them, at least you're getting some money back for a game you don't want. But what do you prefer?
Yeah.
Like a disc or like a code?
Recently I've moved to Steam, so it's all irrelevant because you can't really get discs from Steam, to the best of my knowledge. I prefer having the physical media just because then you can transfer it from console to console to console.
Right.
I haven't had a console in a while, but say my brothers say the Xbox 2 comes out, because that, I don't know, maybe that's the next name of the console, and Xbox 360 games are still compatible. Well, because we still have the discs, we can move it to the Xbox 2 or whatever they want to call it. I think that's just invaluable to games and increases their longevity quite a bit, especially when consoles are only updated every 5 or 6 years.
Yeah. Well, okay, so to start off, I completely agree. I'd rather keep the actual disc with me than have to rely on a code, because I just feel like a code is a lot easier to lose. And I mean, I'm sure that there is a way where you can deactivate a game off of like one computer and then try to get onto another. But I mean, computer regardless. I guess we're talking about consoles here, but other than that, but like, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because I guess this is something that I've run into when my Xbox broke several months ago. They gave me a new one, and I had everything. I had a few games. I had most games that were just online based, so I just re-downloaded them. I had a couple that were like disc based, but you go to put in the disc and you have like a 40 gig download anyway. So it's like, well,
yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, most of the consoles I have experience with are older consoles, like the GameCube,
right,
which is still fantastic. The Xbox 360 and the Xbox One. The Xbox One I played maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and the downloads that took place, they took forever because our internet was not so good at my house.
right.
But like, I don't know. I always think of the access codes as one-time use things, because I mean that's how they are on Steam. That's how they are in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And I would be concerned that those codes that you'd be getting would only be for that game once.
Right.
Whereas if you had a game that had a disc maybe you can only use the online access code
Hmm.
once. So you move your game from Xbox 360 to Xbox One, and you use the online code for Xbox 360. Well, you can still play the offline stuff
Right.
because you have the physical media.
Right.
So I think it's important to have the game itself, because if you're just accessing, an online thing that ends up downloading it every time, then say that company goes up in smoke, you have no option to try to play that game again
Yeah. Yep.
because you're never going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's probably just us being old and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to actually have a disc around. Like I remember the days when you had to jeez, what was it? Like you I don't know if you ever had one, but I had like a PlayStation 2, and every
Mm-hmm.
time you bought like a game, it would come in that box that had like a memory card holder and would also hold the disc. So you could
Yep.
like stick everything in one box and then go to a friend's
Mm-hmm.
house and like play with them.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
fantastic.
back in the
Um,
old days.
yeah, or like the multi CD, multi cartridge
Mm-hmm.
games that you'd have to like swap in between
Yeah,
levels.
yeah, yeah.
Because memory back then, or storage back then, you might have, I think, 8 gigs.
Mm-hmm.
16 gigs was like the max size for GameCube storage
Yeah.
devices. It was freaking crazy how small these things were, but the games were still fantastic. I still spent tons and tons of hours on them. It was just a really enjoyable experience to be
Yeah.
able to like move the games around.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not, I don't know. There are times when just having like a promotional code can be nice, but I don't think it should be for an entire game. I think it should be for some type of like online content, like you were saying, and then be able
Mm-hmm.
to still play the game regardless. But oh well.
Yeah, yeah, this whole physical media thing, I know it's going out of vogue very, very quickly,
Hmm.
because everything's online. I'm just concerned about when that thing gets taken offline, what happens to all the people that
Right.
have it. So say Steam, for whatever reason, just dies, completely
Hmm.
dies. Everyone that has spent any amount of money on Steam will lose that money completely unless Steam does some like mass mass upload of all of the games that they have and then downloads them to everyone who bought them.
Right. It's just limited to the server of whatever company. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna go by the wayside, the hardware having a disc around, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it happens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think physical media will stay around for say audio things, because I know like the very hardcore, very official audiophiles, they only listen to their records and their CDs because those are the best means of transferring media, because that is the media. I don't know. It's some of those people are just full of hooey in my opinion, but if that's how they want to ingest their music, then go for it.
yeah.
And maybe there is like a tangible benefit um, to having like the record or whatever, but
Right. Right.
not sure.
All right. So next up, there's the patent wars continue with Apple and Samsung continuing to try and get as much money from each other as possible, which kind of sucks, but
Mm-hmm.
um
Yeah, this is kind of an old topic. Not old topic, but
recurring.
more of yeah. It's an old old suit that was filed a while ago. It was, just for reference, it was off the Galaxy S2 and the Note 2. So we're on the S6.
Yeah.
So it's at least 4 or 5 years. Um, Essentially, it was about the swipe to unlock feature and the autocorrect
Mhm.
feature, I think. Um, so Apple ended up winning, but I can't see this really affecting anything since Android has changed their unlocking measures, and most people use SwiftKey on Android stuff anyway. So It's interesting, but it's not entirely relevant. I can't see it affecting anything that Samsung will do in the future, or Apple for that matter. Um, they constantly fight back and forth, so nah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Apple had a patent war against Google at one point in time,
Yeah.
um, and I don't understand it. I mean, the whole swipe to unlock, it just seems kind of stupid. I mean,
Hmm.
the I think there was another patent war about like, geez, it was like the rubber banding effect. So like whenever you like
Hmm.
refresh or like get to a bottom of a page on an iPhone, it like rubber bands
Yeah.
back up.
Uh-huh.
Um, and it was so stupid because like I guess Google at one point was doing something similar, like back in like
Hmm.
the Eclair days, Eclair and Donut days before.
God, that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was years and years ago. Um,
Hmm.
It was so stupid. I
Yeah.
just think as far as an interface goes, as long as it's not like a blatant ripoff of the exact interface, who the hell cares? It's
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. If people can get over the thermal take Case Labs or thermal take Swift Tech, like that whole thing that went on, I think that this should be fairly like easy. I mean, it was only 120 million, which for Samsung is like a drop in the bucket. It's not that significant at all compared to what they make on a regular basis. So
Agreed.
it might affect things, it might not. My guess is not.
Yeah.
More of a couple quick topics, but
Yeah.
we wanted to cover them nonetheless because it might change things, but it probably won't.
Yeah. Life moves on.
For sure, for sure. On to the next topic. Those were very strange
Yeah,
topics.
yeah, they were kind of yeah.
They were really hard to talk about.
All right.
So Ara's next, right?
So,
Okay.
sorry. Wait a second. Okay. So Google, good friend Google, is rebranding Google Glass, which ended so spectacularly.
Hmm.
I guess I shouldn't say ended. They put it on the shelf because it wasn't getting as much traction as they wanted. For those of you that don't remember, Google Glass were those like the headsets that you would wear, that some people would wear. That
And then get mugged for,
yeah,
and then the lawsuits came, and then everybody just put them on the shelf and let them
they
go.
were wearables that description wise, it was like a silver band that kind of sat where your eyebrows are, and they were
Hmm.
glasses with a camera attached that you could basically have a heads up display on.
Yep.
And man, I
It,
remember
it
back
was
in
a it was a 300 by 300 pixel display. It would just kind of float in the top right hand corner of your vision. Super expensive, and it just didn't go over well at all.
I remember back in 2013 and 2014 when they did Google I/O events that um, like people would jump out of airplanes with these things on, and then there was man, it makes me want to watch that video. Google had like a thing
Hmm.
where they had like the developers of Google Glass jump out of an airplane, land on top of a building, ride BMX bikes down like the side or down like inside of a building,
Yeah, yeah.
outside, and then back into the thing, and like everything was streamed live so you could watch this entire thing happen. And it was super hyped up about how amazing this thing was and how you weren't tied down to anything. And
Hmm.
then the price tag was too large, and they couldn't. I don't know, they actually didn't say why they shelved it. It was just oh hey, like 6 months ago, I know that we said that we were going to bring this to market, but we're gonna reevaluate. I think that was the word they used, reevaluate. So
Yeah, I think it was the camera on the front and all of the issues people were having
mhm.
with them. Um, People are actually like suing others that had Google Glass on because of the camera that had the ability to be active without any notification.
Mhm.
So, say somebody walked into like a concert. Let's choose a very easy example, and had Google Glass on. Well, they could record the entire concert in little 30-second snippets and send it to their phone if they wanted, and use that as, you know, a way to that words.
Well, here's the thing.
You know what I mean.
I've had the cops called on me because I was out taking video of a building. And you know, it was stupid as hell. JD, have I told you about this?
Nope.
Okay, so this summer I was out in Ohio in a fairly well off suburb of Cincinnati, just taking video of a couple buildings, just trying to test my camera and my lens and whatnot. Without warning, a couple cops pull up and they ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them that it's none of their business and that I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing, and they say, okay, well, just so you know, we got a complaint saying that, you know, you were taking pictures and videos of this building and anybody walking in and out of it. And I told them, yeah, because I'm allowed to. There's nothing anybody can say about me sitting here taking pictures in the public. When you're out in public, there's no expectation of privacy. So the fact that, you know, people haven't the fact that people have an issue with other people taking pictures, you know, you're outside, you can't really be expected to not to have privacy. So I understand the whole idea of, yeah, you know, I don't want pictures taken of me, but, you know, tough. You live in the US, you know. Is it slightly more obvious that somebody could be taking a picture of you if they have Google Glass on? Yeah, that's a fair statement, but I don't know. I just think it's a bunch of BS, and I think that it was doomed because of the public not being aware of the times. But that's my rant.
I understand the camera issue and the security thing. I mean, it makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily agree with it, kind of like Gotham was saying. I don't know. It's something that I think will happen at some point. Google Glass will come back, or Project Aura, as it's now called. Aura, not Aura. Because why naming? All of these names are so similar. First we have the Sixes, and now we have Project Aura and Project Aura. Mm-hmm. What? Choose different names, people. Yeah. So I understand the reason why they had issues, but I just think that it's going to take a lot of careful product manipulation, and some very, very, very good massaging of the market before it's ready for something like this.
Yeah.
Google Glass, they tried to do that whole hype it up and then just pop it into the market and people will be fine. But because of the price, and no one was ready for it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, nobody's done it yet.
Mm-hmm. I think if they sold one for the price of an iPad, people would be more open to it. I think that it was originally like $1,200, I think. Mm-hmm. And I actually saw a couple people around campus wearing them, which, I mean, you can imagine the looks, but
yeah,
it was too expensive. And I mean, I think Rev 2 hopefully will be better. So
I think it just looks way too Star Trek-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks too much like a nerdy toy than, you know, a popular device. Mm-hmm. So I think if they change it so that it doesn't look like one of those like things that pops a visor in front of your face, it might be a little nicer. Make it more unique looking.
I mean, I gotta say, I kind of like the look. I don't know why. I mean, it has that like futuristic thing, and like how much more can you take away from it? You know what I mean? Like, it's a simple silver band that goes around the like that sits like where glasses would be, and has like these tiny silver things that hold on to the bridge of your nose. Like, they seem pretty like minimal, right? Like,
yeah, I'm okay with the minimalism of them. I just think that they look, I'm not a big fan of their look. Now, other people will have different opinions. and
Yeah.
that's perfectly. Sorry, my camera's out of focus. It's perfectly fine, but just the look just doesn't do it for me
Right.
for whatever reason. I think they need to look more like glasses than a visor projection thing. I'm okay with futuristic, but this is a little much.
True. True. True.
But it's a cool concept, and I hope that now that Google's at least like shown that it is possible to do, maybe some other companies like Samsung or Sony or I don't know any of the other numerous tech companies, hopefully will put something out there. Maybe in the next like 10, 15 years when the market might be a little bit more prepared for something like this. But I see that I think that it will take quite a long time for the market to be ready for this.
All right. You want to do the last one or the second last one?
Sure. So Amazon has a new lineup of tablets, and the first price, the baseline model, has a price of $50. $50 for an 8-inch tablet, I believe. Yep, an 8-inch tablet. The specs aren't too good, but a 7-inch tablet. Sorry, 7-inch tablet. $50 for words. Sorry guys, words. Essentially, it's not going to be a great powerhouse. It's going to be rocking a 1.3 gigahertz quad core SoC, 8 gigabytes of internal storage, and 1 gigabyte of RAM. But for, the grandparents out there, for those that like to give tablets to their kids, something like this would make a whole lot of sense, especially if it's fairly robust.
Yeah.
Because one, you can put books on it, which, are good for everyone. But for media consumption, the resolution isn't all that great, but little kids aren't gonna care, and grandparents are probably gonna say that it still looks better than their old Electron-based TV.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it's a good compromise. I enjoy the fact that they're moving towards a more budget-friendly option, since most of their others have been a little bit more on the expensive side. But it'll be interesting to see how this takes off, to see if Amazon can pull back their device market share that the Fire Phone kind of threw out.
I think the whole technology market is starting to move towards I guess budget friendly type items, because the smartphone market is pretty saturated at the top. So is the tablet market. Even the laptop market. Like now, people are wanting less and less.
Oh yeah.
Because they. I think that with Amazon moving towards the budget-sided tablet things, I think they're gonna see a lot more success than they did otherwise. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that their old tablets were crap, because I played with a couple like in Best Buys or whatever, and they were nice, but
they weren't bad, but they also were sitting in the middle of a market that had much, much better options.
Not to mention that it looks a whole lot more like stock Android.
It does. It does. I enjoy the look a lot more. It's not fantastic. It is not a Nexus 7 by any means. It's not going to be as powerful. Its resolution is worse. But it's also like a third of the cost.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that since the tech industry has had these high-end things for so long, they are going to start trickle down.
Right.
Similar to our next topic, which you'll hear about in a little bit, you have to kind of push the top end so that your yields can be stronger, that you can gain more efficient processes to make these different components, so that you can make them at a more budget-friendly price range. Because something like this 5 or 6 years ago would probably be like a top-end tablet.
Right.
But now that we have like the Nexus 9 with 2560 by 1600 display or something along those
A
lines.
lot of pixels, yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
pixels. Now that you have those types of displays with like the Snapdragon 810 processors, now that we have the super high end stuff that can pretty much run whatever they want, as shown by Sony's new 4K screen, um, it's good to see that some of the cheaper stuff
8K.
is coming around.
8K screen.
No, no, that's our next topic. But Sony released a 4K phone.
Gotcha.
That's a whole nother topic in and of itself.
Ex-
But essentially, the processors can run 4K. It's good to see that some of the lower end processors are being used to run more budget devices.
yeah. Excuse me while I give myself a heart attack because, oh my god, I am unable to hear anything. There is something going on with this XLR interface. I'm having my ears blown out of my head right now. What the heck?
And we're back.
I'm settled. Okay. All right. So we just had an earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're just gonna ignore what just happened.
Yeah, that was
That's
a
kind
little
of
interesting. But a couple other specs about the tablet. The HD8 and the HD10, they are the more expensive of the other versions. They start at 150 and 230 respectively for the 8 and 10 inch sizes. They have slightly faster processors. They both support AC Wi-Fi, and they have micro SD card slots. So they're still a little expensive for what they have, what they're running. The HD8 and the HD10 will be running 1280 by 800 displays respectively. So yeah, their devices are still not nearly what they need to be for those price ranges, but the $50 tablet might be a solid option for people looking for a cheap one.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Unbox Therapy released a review of like a $20, $30 tablet. He was like, yeah, this is just awful.
Yeah.
Like, nothing
Not
works.
worth it.
But this might be something that is worth it for that much. That could be a good option for people.
Yeah.
So
now we're gonna move from really budget-oriented items to a $133,000 TV. Who wants one?
yeah. So this is a TV made by Sharp. It is an 85-inch TV with a resolution of 7680 by 4320, or 104 pixels per inch.
Yeah.
Across 85 freaking inches. It is an IGZO display, which is similar to IPS. It stands for indium gallium zinc oxide. So it essentially has the same viewing angles as an IPS screen, which is good. But well, there's no actual 8K content to watch on it.
Yeah.
Yet, until MKBHD starts putting out his videos.
He actually he only does 4K. Like I think the he upgraded his
He just upgraded his Red camera.
he upgraded the body.
Yep.
The sensor upgrade to 6K I think doesn't even come out till another few months or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So he's still waiting on that. So I mean, so
I thought he got the 8K upgrade.
No, I think he's like on the so there's a body upgrade and then there's a sensor upgrade. He got the body upgrade, but the sensor upgrade is what is going to give him the ability to get the super crazy
Gotcha.
res. So
either way, 8K is a little obnoxious in my opinion, as it probably isn't a whole lot of other people's opinions. But this will mean very good things for 4K stuff, because it means that yields are getting to be very, very high for high resolution displays.
Right.
The process is becoming more efficient. I mean, 133,000 is still really expensive, but it could mean good things for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope no one notices that I sold everything in my house to get this TV, including the house.
Yeah, really.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's my college education, including all of my books and
Yeah.
living expenses, and like that's a crazy amount of money. But if they sell like 5 or 6 of these, that'll still be a
Wait,
heck of
how much are you paying for college, man?
a lot of money.
One hundred and
College is
thirty-three
expensive.
thousand?
College is expensive, Gotham.
No, I'm aware, but I mean, doing the math here, all said and done, I mean, 100,000, right, for 4 years?
Uh-huh.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
roughly.
I was like, where's that extra 30,000 coming from? Jeez. But
Food and random things accumulate over time.
I guess, yeah.
I was doing a rough estimate.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
It's
I was
still
like,
a lot of money that could pay for my college education.
yeah.
Let's put it
I was
that
like,
way.
man, you're getting gypped somewhere. I don't know where, but something.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cool concept. I don't really see the point of it at this point, or for the next 5 or 6 years at least.
Yeah.
Linus talked about this of Linus Tech Tips. If you don't know him and you know who we are, there's something wrong. But essentially, Linus Tech Tips, he was talking about this, and he said he would be surprised if we see adoption, like widespread adoption of 8K within the next 10 to 15 years. He would be surprised. He expects it to take longer than that.
I can see 4K becoming the standard, becoming like, oh, I'm gonna go pick out like a 24-inch 4K monitor, and it only being like $200. In like I think the next 4 years, 4K will happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd give 6K an extra. I give it like 3-4 more years on top of that.
Yeah, and
Okay,
that's really only going to be for the most enthusiasts, like the top end, those that like spend money every year to upgrade their PC, or like maybe they'll buy the 980, but then they'll buy the 980 Ti as well, just because they want the extra upgrade.
Yeah.
Because 6K is just 1440p quad, right? Like quad 1440p,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think past that, people are going to be so satisfied with their experience. I think theaters will upgrade to 8K at some point.
Yeah.
Because they're theaters and they're supposed to look better than everything that we have at our house. But
okay, so
it's going to take a while.
Fun fact here: 1080p, the standards to stream and store 1080p video. So the H.264 MPEG-4 compression was released in 2008.
And we are just now seeing widespread adoption
of 4K. Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
1080p.
we're way past widespread adoption, right? Because like now, if anybody says, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy a 720p display," you're like, "What? No."
Well, yeah, but we just got here.
Right.
It hasn't been long.
Yeah.
But
so what? Like, I'd say a 7-year span for like a standard to mature, and for the next one to pop up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like what? Multiply that by 4. So yeah, 21 years would be when 8K becomes a thing.
Yeah, I think it might take a little less time than that, just because
the way technology is.
Yeah, the people at the top end always push things way harder than anybody else thinks that they should be pushed.
Right.
So it'll happen, but I mean, we have to get our camera gear up to 8K first, let alone like everything else.
Yeah.
So I think 4K will become mainstream, like you said, 4 or 5, 6 years maybe, but 8K is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, that's quite a while off. Quite a while.
I wonder what 8K would look like in a 32-inch version.
It would probably look like your phone, right? Right? Because phones now are like 400 pixels per inch.
Do you remember what phone I'm still on?
True. So,
It's a
Yeah, well,
4S, by the way.
So, yeah, that would make sense, right? So it would be like phone displays lining like a 27-inch display. I think the math is right on that. Like
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Jeez,
That's a lot of pixels.
that is a lot of pixels. But I mean, it could be achieved now if you just find a way to link multiple displays, phone displays together.
Oh. But even then, like, oh.
You could get a bunch of those sharp Aquos crystal.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Just think about the rig that it would take to power a game on that.
Yeah, that'd be
8K.
Obnoxious.
Like, things can't hardly run like 30 frames a second on 4K. With like triple Titan X's, you get over 60 frames a second in 4K.
No, well, no.
Yeah.
The 980 Ti can run games at not high, but I think medium at 4K 60.
Oh, I was talking about high.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, you need like all of the Titan X's. Well, AAA titles. You know, CS:GO, League of Legends. Those you can
Those
run
don't
at
really
4K really simply. I think I saw a build using like a 285, an R9 285 or something.
Yeah.
Driving those games at 4K at like ultra details.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting my 4K monitors back because I have a graphics card that can actually do 2 4K monitors now and not have one at stupid 30 frames a second. Can you tell that I'm kind of salty? I am. My house blows up and a 980 Ti shows up at my doorstep.
Yeah,
Possibly the worst and or best timing ever.
Bit of a predicament.
Could you imagine if that happened like the day before? Like what if the graphics card showed up like the day everything blew up? That would suck.
That'd be terrible. I just
I'm done. I'm checking out.
Yeah.
I'm good.
This whole content creation thing's not for me. Things blow up too often. Yeah, I'm looking forward to upgrading to 4K at some point now that I actually have a camera that can do 4K.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Technology is expensive.
Tis. 8K is 16 times the resolution of 1080 and 36 times the resolution of 720. 36 times the resolution of 720.
Like, it's
obnoxious.
So many pixels.
All right, we're droning at this point.
Little bit. Let's finish off this podcast.
Yeah, so that's about it for week 12 of the TechnoCola podcast, episode 12. Yeah, so
leave a comment on this video if you actually watched any of it.
Yeah.
Or if you heard the podcast somewhere.
So this is the first one that we're splitting into segments, right? So
yes.
If you guys like the segmented way of running things and having the entire video available to you if you do want it, let us know. If you think that things could be done differently, tell us that also. And yeah, that's all I got.
We'll be uploading the entire podcast in whatever usual channels Gotham uploads them to. We won't be splitting up the podcast because that will just take a lot of work, and that's a lot of extra stuff.
I turned on my rave lights.
Nice.
Wait, I could do this one too, right? Come on. Light. IR. There we go. That's how we do things here.
I'm turning my softbox on and off. It's about as close as I can get.
All right. That was episode 12. Thanks for listening, guys, and tune in next week for more stupidity.
Hopefully next week. And we'll get our words straight.
Yes, sir. All righty, guys.
Talk to you guys later.